Today, I turned 30 years old. So in this video, I thought I would share some of the things that I learned being a new real estate agent. And I started this career when I was just 22 years old. So I'm going to share everything that I learned from being a brand new real estate agent. Actually, when I started, I even had braces. So let's dive right into the video. My name is Chris with the Empire of Real Estate YouTube channel. We create content for real estate entrepreneurs, and as my gift to you for tuning into our channel, we have a complete listing guide that's fully editable in Canva that you can take to your next listing presentation. So definitely check that out. It's in the description below, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's dive in today's video. So I started this business when I was just 22 years old. So I get what it is to be a new real estate agent and all these struggles that come along with it. So in this video, I wanted to share a complete breakdown of some of those struggles that I faced, and then some myths that I believe that really just weren't true. So if you're a new real estate agent looking to get started in this business and you're a little intimidated because you're young and you're going to be a young real estate agent, this video might highlight some things and clear some things up. So the very first thing is I was holding a lot of limiting beliefs that was holding me back. So when I first got licensed, I actually started out doing rentals. So I was like, hey, I don't know if I can sell houses to anybody. I don't really know people that are looking to buy and sell. I'm only 22 years old. And, I figured I'd get started with the rental business. So what I did is I went to a firm that did rentals, and I started helping those landlords find tenants for their rental properties. The firm would collect a first month's rent check, and then that rent check would be split between the firm and myself. So I was making 50% of the first month's rent. And this was a good way to get started, but it was a limiting belief, because the truth is, as a young agent, you can go out there and make sales. There's nobody holding you back. There's no red tape. There's nobody saying that it's against the rules to do so. So if you want to go out there and do that, you can totally do that. And you're going to have to prospect. You're going to have to stand out. You're going to have to show sellers and buyers that you're the right person to handle their transaction, but it can totally be done. Number two is that first impressions count and they make a lasting impression. So if you're a young real estate agent, do everything you can to give yourself the best advantage possible. I joke, my first 3, 4, 5 years in real estate, I walked around with a suit and tie on, and I went everywhere in that thing. And everybody would just be like, hey, why are you wearing that all the time? But the truth is that was my leg up, because I knew that I had to make a good impression, and I had to show these people that were potential clients that I was the right agent for them. I was always ready. I was always working. I took this career very seriously, and I was going places with it. So that's the message that I conveyed. And I didn't have the nicest car. When I first started, I think I started out with a Mitsubishi Eclipse, right? A convertible Eclipse. It was a 5-speed. It was a fun car. I liked it a lot. I'm a car guy. But it wasn't the best car to make a good impression. But it didn't disqualify me because I was sharp, I was present, and I did everything I could to give myself the best advantage. So making a good impression with the way you look, and then also the way you carry yourself and the way you explain things, and that can be done through training, will make a huge difference for you. Eventually, I did move up and I got a nicer car, and then I got a nicer car, and then I got a nicer car, and I worked my way into higher end cars like I have now, like Mercedes-Benz, BMW. But to be honest, it doesn't make that much of a difference. People will comment on your car if you have a really nice car and say, hey, that's a beautiful car. And it could be a talking piece. And I'm sure it helps a little bit, but it doesn't make as much of an impact as you think. I see some top listing agents driving around in minivans, driving around in older cars. And to be honest, we put so many miles on these things that it's probably a smarter investment to get a older car, to get something cheap, because we beat the heck out of these cars driving from appointment to appointment to appointment. And if you're a car guy like myself, maybe you get a nice car for the weekend. that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get an exotic car. I do have my Mercedes, but it's not like a super, super high-end Mercedes like an S550 or something like that. It's a Mercedes that looks nice. It's good on gas. It's a CLA, and it makes sense for, driving from house to house and doing real estate. Number 3, watch what people do, not what they say. And that is a big one, because you're going to get advice from a lot of people. They might be experienced agents. They might be your broker. They might be, even family and friends. And you have to watch what those people are doing and not just what they're saying. So if you are getting advice from somebody and they're telling you to just focus on buyers and be a buyer's agent, but their entire business is built on being a listing agent, you should question that advice. And if you're getting advice from somebody not to start a team, but they have a team and they're not even in production because they just do the marketing and they run that team, then you want to question that advice. So you want to make sure that the person's advice is in alignment with what they're actually doing. And that will make a big difference, because you're going to get a ton of advice as a new real estate agent, and you want to make sure that you're vetting that advice and only taking the advice that's going to move you forward. Number 4, proximity is everything. Now, this is a big one, and this one is really underestimated and understated, especially in the world of real estate. And what I mean by proximity is everything, we become the average of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with most. So pick people in the business that you want to replicate, that you admire, that you want to become, because you will kind of work towards that and start going in that direction if you spend a lot of time with them and learn from them. So picking people that you admire and respect and that can actually bring you to the places that you want to go and are heading in that direction makes all the difference. And when I first got started in this business, I was like, hey, you know what? I've started little side businesses before, because I did, and I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody's advice. I don't need anybody's help. I don't need to be on a team. And that was the wrong approach, because the truth is we all don't know everything. And the older you get, you start to realize that. So take advantage of the mentors that you can get access to, because as a young agent, there's a lot of people that will step in and offer you more help than you would get if you were not a young agent, because they probably see themselves in you and they know what it's like to be starting out from ground zero and starting out as a new agent that's very young and just trying to build their business. So take advantage of that and take all the help you can from mentors that are actually doing what you want to be doing. Number 5, this is definitely last, but is certainly not least, and that's perfection. Many of us have this perfection thing where we want to make things perfect before we actually start. You might be doing that with your real estate license test. Maybe, you're still on the fence and you're like, hey, I want to make sure I can ace this test, and you haven't actually sat down for the exam yet. Or maybe you got your license, you're good to go, but you haven't made your first phone call yet. Or maybe you have made your first phone call and then you stopped because it wasn't perfect. See, perfection will actually ruin your progress. And it's good to practice. It's good to advance. It's good to do all that. But if I look back, I would say I should have failed forward faster. I would be much further along today if I just went 100 miles an hour, took a swing. When I failed, took some time to learn, took another swing, took a step back, took some time to learn. And that's going to get you to where you want to be, because we learn the most through failure. And if you're all about perfectionism, you're never going to be able to get enough fails in before you actually hit your ultimate success. And if you have big goals and dreams like I do, you have to move fast, because the faster you move, the faster you get to the next milestone and the quicker you can actually get to where you want to be. And if you prolong this through just procrastinating, you're really hurting yourself, because you're staying stalled at the same milestone because you're afraid of failing when you attempt to get to that next milestone. And this can be a huge setback. And the worst thing in the world is not wasted money, it's wasted time, because we can get money back. We can't get time back. So use your time wisely. You have the greatest gift going on right now as somebody that is a young real estate agent just getting started, getting into the world of business at a young age, you have a lot of advantages. So definitely use them, but certainly don't waste time, because that is your biggest advantage right now and you want to fail forward fast. So if you like this video, definitely hit the like button and subscribe, because we come out with useful real estate content on a weekly basis. Thanks so much for tuning in and have a great day.